Manchester United close in on Varane. Griezmann is rejected by numerous clubs. Chelsea are still on the hunt for Erling Haaland, Lewandowski to Real Madrid, and a transfer roundup all coming up on today's OneFootball Daily News. As I'm your host, Angelina Kelly, let's get into it. So first up, and according to a report from Sky Sports News, it seems like Raphael Varane to Manchester United could actually be happening, as the club have allegedly been given the green light to pursue the player. So the report does state that they are going to be negotiating personal terms. If this can be achieved, then Manchester United will go to Real Madrid to discuss a price tag. Reportedly, Los Blancos were holding out for about €80 million. According to the Manchester Evening News, Manchester United were going to offer about €50 million, so it will be interesting to see if they can kind of meet in the middle with that one. However, for Manchester United, they do need to be careful because PSG are reportedly hot on their heels. Now, of course, PSG have just signed Sergio Ramos, who paired up brilliantly with Raphael Varane at Real Madrid. So it makes sense that they would be interested in the player. However, when you do look at PSG's roster, they do already have some really competent players in that area of the pitch. So I'm not too sure if Varane is an absolute priority, because at the end of the day, PSG have also been linked with Paul Pogba from Manchester United and also Eduardo Camavinga. And let's not forget the Kylian Mbappe situation that they're going to have to resolve in some way, and they may even potentially have to look for a replacement for him, if there even is such a thing as an Mbappe replacement. For Manchester United, this ticks one big, massive box for them. Fans have been crying out for a good few seasons now for a really strong pairing for Harry Maguire in that centre-back position, and they may have actually found it with Raphael Varane. Of course, the likes of Pau Torres, Jules Koundé have also been linked, but I think that Raphael Varane could be a really good fit. He's 28 years of age, already got some really brilliant experience with Real Madrid. So like I say, for Manchester United, this would be a massive plus, especially for their manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to get this deal over the line. But for Manchester United fans, I wouldn't get too excited yet, as we're nowhere near finished with this deal. And like I say, PSG are also potentially in pursuit. Our next story is about Antoine Griezmann and a bit of an update into what is going on with his situation. So as I've stated on the Daily News before, we know that Barcelona are allegedly trying to free up as much money as they can so that they can comply with La Liga's salary cap, so that they can register Lionel Messi again at the club, plus the likes of Memphis Depay and Sergio Aguero, etc. And unfortunately, Antoine Griezmann could be one of the players that is departing from the club in order to free up some more money. And according to reports in Spain, Antoine Griezmann has allegedly come to terms with the fact that his career at Barcelona could be over. However, he has stipulated that if the club decide to get rid of him, as much as he would like to stay, if they don't want him, that's okay. But the one thing that he is stating is that he doesn't want to move to a club that are maybe not on the same levels as Barcelona regarding the aims that they've got and what they want to achieve and the trophies that they want to win, which is understandable. So of course, he was linked with Manchester City, and according to ESPN and the Manchester Evening News, Manchester City have actually rejected the idea of signing Griezmann. They are allegedly not interested and do want to focus on the likes of Harry Kane or potentially Erling Haaland, even though Pep Guardiola has stated that the club may not even have the money to buy players of that quality. So I'm not too sure what Manchester City will do, but apparently Griezmann is off the table. And then, of course, there is Atlético Madrid. So according to other reports in Spain, there have been rumours of a potential swap between Atlético Madrid's Saul and Antoine Griezmann. Of course, Rodrigo de Paul has just been announced as an Atlético Madrid player, which means that for Saul, he probably will be heading to the exit door, as we've spoken about before on the Daily News. So Barcelona were allegedly interested, but regarding Griezmann going back to Atlético Madrid, this has been completely and utterly rejected by fans. And even in Spain, on Twitter, the hashtag Griezmann no te queremos, which basically translates to Griezmann, we don't want you, we don't love you, was trending because Atlético Madrid fans were really wanting to put their point across that they don't want him back at the club. Bit of a tough one for Griezmann to take perhaps, but I guess understandable as he did leave them for Barcelona. But for Griezmann, this just means that maybe some of his options are running out, and where the player will be actually playing next season, I don't think that we're going to know anytime soon, and we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Our next story is all about Chelsea and Erling Haaland, because Chelsea are not giving up on this transfer saga. Now, of course, with Borussia Dortmund, they seem to be pretty confident that the player will be at the club next season. Their director, Michael Zorc, has stated that their stance hasn't changed and he will be a Dortmund player. He even actually joked because Haaland was not at the training complex at Dortmund, and people were asking, where is he? Zorc was joking, saying, oh, he's already in England. Of course he wasn't. But yeah, Dortmund seemed pretty confident, but Chelsea also seem pretty confident. So according to reports, they have already offered 60 million euros and Tammy Abraham in order to get Haaland. I don't think this was ever going to be accepted, especially when you consider the fact that Dortmund are allegedly holding out for about 175 million euros for the player. But now, Chelsea's owner Roman Abramovich has allegedly released the funds for Haaland. He has stated that he is the one player that he wants at the club. There is no other player that they could possibly have, and that Chelsea are now preparing to offer Dortmund a bid that they could definitely not refuse. Of course, for Chelsea, a player like Erling Haaland would be an amazing asset, and I think he would definitely help out when it comes to Timo Werner as well. Of course, he was used to, with Leipzig, playing two up front. He's been a lone striker with Chelsea. It hasn't really worked out, so maybe Haaland could actually get the best out of Timo Werner. So like I say, you can definitely understand why Chelsea are interested. There are so many different levels as to what Haaland could bring to the club, but if Dortmund's head are actually going to be turned by this alleged new bid from Chelsea, I'm not too sure. I think we're going to have to wait and see. Our next story is all about Robert Lewandowski and a potential move to Real Madrid. Yes, you heard me right. Of course, before he made the move to Bayern Munich, there were reports that he was potentially preparing for a move to Real Madrid. It didn't happen, but now Real Madrid are stating that they're still allegedly quite interested, and they could be going in for the player, if not this summer, then next summer. As of course, Lewandowski's contract with Bayern Munich does expire in 2023, and these reports in Spain state that a move could happen. Of course, last season he was by far the best scorer on the continent with 48 goals in 40 games. And despite being 32 years of age, he still clearly has a few more strong seasons left in him. And although for Real Madrid, Operation Mbappe is allegedly their priority, and also Erling Haaland, if they don't manage to get Haaland, then Lewandowski is definitely a player that they are going to be looking at. However, as much as Lewandowski is an absolutely amazing player, they already have a player that is over 30 in Karim Benzema, and I just feel like Real Madrid should still be focusing on maybe bringing in younger talent. Not to say that Lewandowski wouldn't be any good, and like I say, he's still got a few good seasons left in him, but I'm just not too sure if this is the route that Real Madrid should be taking, and also the likelihood of actually signing him, I'm not too sure. At the end of the day, we have seen him smash records left, right and centre in the Bundesliga, and I have a feeling that he's going to want to continue doing this. So as much as this is an interesting story, the potential of Robert Lewandowski playing in white for Real Madrid, I'm not too sure if I can see this one happening. For now, I think that Lewandowski will be staying in Munich. And now we have our transfer roundup. This is where I take a look at some of the other news and transfers going on in the footballing world. And first up, according to Mundo Deportivo, Liverpool have had a 40 million euro bid rejected for Saul. Of course, he's an Atlético Madrid player. With the arrival of Rodrigo de Paul, it does seem like Saul will be departing, but for Atlético Madrid, they are holding out for more like 50 million euros. So for Liverpool, they're going to have to come back with a stronger bid. Meanwhile, the Athletic have confirmed that Arsenal and Marseille have come to an agreement about the loan of William Saliba. Roma are reportedly looking at bringing in Manchester United's Alex Telles after Leonardo Spinazzola, of course, will be sidelined for 6 months with the injury that he got at Euro 2020. And finally, a tweet by Real Madrid's Isco that has since been deleted alluded to the fact that he could be departing from the club once the final 12 months of his contract are up, with the likes of Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspur and Napoli all allegedly interested in the player. So that's it for today's OneFootball Daily News. As always, check out all the other content that we've got here, and until next time, I will see you all later.